Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. Entrepreneur Coach Bree Seeley here with you for another fantastic episode. Today we are going to talk about how do you know when it is time to invest in your business? And then how do you know what program is the right program for you? Lord knows there are a lot of programs on the market. So how do you know which one is going to actually help you reach your goals and serve an ROI for you? If you don't know, that means return on investment. And which ones are just going to kind of take your money and run. So we're going to break it down today, the ins, the outs of knowing when it's time and how to know which program is going to be right for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I'm the Entrepreneur Coach, Bree Seeley. My mission is to help female entrepreneurs like you have the audacity to believe in the inevitability of your success, then to gather the resources, tools, and knowledge you need to create your most aligned and profitable pathway to your vision of success. This podcast is all about providing you with a nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Forget the success porn and the rags to riches stories. Each episode will pull back the curtain and share the reality of entrepreneurship. I cannot wait to be part of your journey. Before we dive into today's content, I do want to let you know that applications for the Mastermind have reopened. I am running a second cohort of the Mastermind because the first one is going so well, and two, I am just having such a freaking blast with the women that I get to work with, the results they're creating, the momentum that they are experiencing, that I want to give the opportunity for 10 more women to be a part of the Mastermind experience. The Mastermind officially has a name. It is called The Foundry, which I love the idea of us taking that metal that's already there, melting it down and reforming it into something new, which is kind of what we're going to be doing with your business in the Mastermind as well. You can learn more by visiting breeseeley.com/mastermind. But before we get there, I'm going to break down how to know if it's time for you to invest in your business and what questions you need to ask to know if either this or any other program is the right fit for you. So first things first, how do you know when it's time to invest in your business? What I use for myself and what I see in my clients is often when you have a goal that you are super excited to create, super hungry for, and you just keep waking up thinking, I just don't know how to get there. Or you've been trying all the things and nothing is getting you there. Maybe it's time to actually work with someone who has loads of experience behind them and knows the ins and outs of businesses to put together a strategy for you that's going to be a little more comprehensive and that's actually going to work to get you to those goals that you have for the quarter, the year, the decade ahead. I know that when I find myself in a stagnant place, or when I have gone out and tried this strategy and it didn't work and that strategy and it didn't work, there have to be other options out there for me. And if I don't have the knowledge and wisdom right now from where I stand to know what strategies those are, I need to bring someone in that is going to help me be able to see the bigger picture and give me more of a guide, more of a path towards those goals that I have. I started working with a new coach in November, and it's been really helpful, not only on a mindset basis, but also on a strategy basis, to ensure that the foundation for my next level of business is being built properly so that I can actually achieve all of the goals that I'm setting for myself. And I see the same thing for a lot of my clients. There's one woman in the Mastermind who decided she wanted to launch a group program. She tried for 2 months on her own to get enrollments for individuals into this group program. 2 full months of taking action, posting on social media, like all these things. She did all the things, not a single enrollment in the group program. She came to me. We strategized a more effective way of filling her group program, and she filled it in under a month. In working with me, she was able to see a new pathway, a new strategy that she simply couldn't see on her own because she'd never done that before. She'd never launched a group program. She didn't know what it was going to take to actually fill a higher level program. And so she needed knowledge. She needed a strategy. She needed techniques that she herself did not yet possess. What we realized was she actually already had 16 people who were ready and willing to work with her, But the predominant narrative is just post on social media. People will enroll in your program, when that's not actually how it works. You may have heard my episode from last week where I talked to Adrienne about having a 6-figure launch without using social media. This client found that social media actually got her 0 clients, where in the strategy that we deployed together, she filled her mastermind. Sometimes there are simply goals that we have that we don't know how to get to. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It means that you're going for something new, something bigger, something you haven't done before. And oftentimes, we just need to expand what's available to us in order to reach those goals. When you've decided, okay, it's time. It is time for me to invest in my business. What do you need to do to know which program is going to be the best fit for you? Because remember, there is no one size fits all. One program could work for one person, but not for another person. There are a lot of options out there. How do you begin to sift through what's going to be the best fit for you? The first question that you need to identify, and we kind of just did it, is what are your goals? You need to know what you're aiming at so that the program or the coach that you are working with can be aligned with what you are working towards. I'll give you an example. One of the women who enrolled in this mastermind in December, on her call, she and I talked and I said, all right, what's your goal? And she said, well, I just want to make an extra $500 a month. I was super straight with her and I said, I actually don't think that I'm the best coach for you. In my mind, I look at that and say, okay, well, but what is $500 a month actually going to do for you in your business? That's barely a car payment. That's not an office space payment. That's not like $500 a month isn't really going to do a whole lot in terms of moving and progressing your business forward. Whereas another woman that enrolled in the mastermind said, I would like to be on the Forbes list of richest Americans at some point in my journey. Great. We're not going to get there in 6 months, but we can begin laying the foundation so that becomes your reality in however many years it takes to get there. Now, let's go back to that first woman. In me pushing against her and saying, I don't really think I'm the coach for you, she actually backtracked a little bit and realized that that wasn't the goal she wanted. That was the goal she needed. So in me pushing back against her and saying, I don't think I'm the coach for you, what it actually did was freed her up to be able to own and acknowledge that she does want more, way more than an extra $500 a month. So she did actually end up enrolling in the program. And since then, she has come up with her entire 7-figure business strategy. I mean, this strategy is incredible. The revenue stream she's come up with, how all the different revenue streams fit in with each other, the marketing, the messaging, everything has really all kind of coalesced. Now, again, is she going to be at 7 figures tomorrow? Probably not. She's not going to build all of it at once because that is a surefire way to burn out. But she does have that pathway to now get her to the goals that she wants, not the goals that she needs. You need to take some time and get a little clear on what is it that you actually want. Not what you need, but what do you actually want? And what kind of coach do you need to work with to get you to that goal? If it's a coach that typically works with people starting their businesses, it's probably not going to be an aligned coach to help you develop your 7-figure strategy. If it's a coach like myself who works with super ambitious, high-level, hungry, unapologetic women, and you're looking to create that in your business, that's probably going to be a better fit for you. Now, the next thing that you need to look at when you are deciding whether a program is going to fit you or not is the level of support that you need during the process. There was a mastermind that I was invited into back before the pandemic began, and it was $25,000. And the only level of support was a once quarterly group call and a 3-day person retreat. That was it for the entirety of the mastermind. Now, you could mastermind with the other women in the program, but you got almost no access to the woman who is running it. To me, that's not the level of support that I need to reach my goals in my business. So you need to get clear on how often do you need to be in community with the other people? How often do you need to be speaking to the person that's running the mastermind? Do you need an in-person component or just want one because they're fun? The way that I've built out my mastermind is to have a high level of touch and accessibility, because I know that getting from under 6 figures to over 6 figures takes a hell of a lot, both on a mindset basis and on a strategy basis. So the Foundry includes weekly calls. It also includes 4 private calls with me over the 6 months. It also includes an online community where you can go in and ask questions, get support, celebrate wins every single day if you so wanted. And it also includes a 3-day in-person retreat, plus all sorts of other things like human design readings, access to a trademark attorney, a thinking technology that's really going to help you reset and shift your mindset and your energy. It is a very, very comprehensive mastermind because I know that's what I would need if I were at that point under 6 figures looking to get over 6 figures. It was working in depth with a coach that allowed me to get to that 6-figure point in my business in the first place. And now it's working in depth with another coach to get me past that again. One of the women in the mastermind joined. She's actually never worked with a coach before, and her business has kind of been a hobby up until this point. We got in and strategized what needs to happen, what changes need to be made in terms of her pricing, her services, her revenue streams, her marketing channels, and I am just so fucking proud of her. She has done 60% of her average annual revenue in just 6 weeks. And she will tell you that she attributes a lot of it to the access that she has to me. If she asks a question, I'm there answering her and helping her work through what the correct next step is to help her achieve the goals that she has. She reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, I'm launching this group program and I only have a few people enrolled. What are some other things that I can do? She ended up getting, I think, 4 new enrollments in under 48 hours based on the conversation we had around the strategy that she needed to employ to increase her enrollment. I actually would not be terribly surprised if she told me that right now, currently halfway through the program, she's already hit her average annual revenue. I have 2 more elements coming your way around how to know what mastermind or program is the right one for you, but we're going to take just a quick break with a resource for you and we'll be right back.
Pardon the interruption as we take a brief break before bringing you back to our episode. Are you an entrepreneur who feels like you're running a marathon on a hamster wheel each day, but you'd really rather be swimming with the pigs in the Bahamas or having breakfast with the giraffes in Africa? You're getting okay results in your business, but you're ready for exceptional results. It's time to hit the reset button to give your business a makeover and evolve into your next level of entrepreneurship. I want to invite you into the Reset, a 5-day business makeover to evolve your business from acceptable to exceptional. Visit breesealy.com/reset to get free access to this resource that will forever change the trajectory of your business.
Welcome back. We have 2 last pieces to go over in how to know what program or mastermind is the right fit for you. The next thing is you have got to go into the conversation with the coach or their salesperson with a list of questions. It is common for them to interview you to know whether or not it's a good fit, but you also need to interview them. You need to be putting hard questions to them, including one of the questions that I encourage people to ask me is, what happens if I get to the end of the program and I'm not satisfied? Now, a lot of coaches would not encourage you to ask this question. I am encouraging you to ask this question. Not only should you ask it to me, but you should ask it to any and every single coach that you are thinking about working with, and here's why. Their answer is going to be very telling. Personally, I have a satisfaction guarantee with all of my programming because my job is to make sure that you are satisfied. My job is to serve you in this process and ensure your satisfaction by the end of our work together. Now, of course, this comes with a caveat. If you're showing up and you're not doing anything, you're not taking action, you're not applying the things we talk about, I can't help you. But if you're showing up to every call, you're executing on all of the things we talk about, you're taking all the actions, all the steps, you're doing all the things to create the results that you're looking for, and you're still not getting traction, mind you, this doesn't happen very often, but if you're getting to the end of the 6 months and that's been your experience, something has to shift. So for me, I am willing to to keep working with a client to ensure their satisfaction. If someone comes to me and says, I don't feel like I got what I intended to get in this program, and they put in their all, something's wrong. We missed something somewhere along the way, and we need to figure out where that gap is and fill it so that you can get the results that you're looking for. Now, if a coach says to you like, well, that's not my problem, or, we don't really have a satisfaction guarantee, you get what you get, to me, that's a little bit of a red flag. I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of flushing money down the drain, which also leads us to our final thing that you need to look at in a mastermind or a program. And that is, what is the return on investment? A lot of people talk a lot about ROI, but truly, what is it going to take you to make back not only the investment, but more than the investment? How is this investment going to give you that return that, again, is hopefully not like breaking even, but actually above what you invested in the program? I always like to encourage my clients and not yet clients to look at, okay, if this is the cost of the program and this is the cost of your average sale, what is it going to take? How many sales is it going to take for you to make back what the investment is? Let's go back to that woman who had the group program, who in 2 months couldn't get a single enrollment, and then with the strategy with me was able to fill the program in under a month. In filling her enrollment in that program, she made back her entire investment in the mastermind with just that one launch. We're only halfway through the program. She has another launch coming up. So she is actually going to be making back more than she invested in the program. The other client that I shared with you, she made 60% of her average annual revenue in 6 weeks. That's a pretty good ROI. She condensed 31 weeks worth of income down into 6 weeks. And as I mentioned earlier, it's very possible that she's actually currently at 100% of her average annual revenue. And so that would be 52 weeks worth of revenue into 3 months. So you need to do the math for yourself. I just spoke with another woman who's going to enroll in the mastermind. Her current average sale is around $1,500. Well, she, with this mastermind, wants to move into average sales of $5,000 and $10,000. For her to make back her return on investment for this enrollment would be either 1 or 2 sales. That's it. So do the math for yourself. What are your revenue streams? What is your current average sale? Do you need to increase your prices with the help of your coach? Generally, that's a big one. For most people I work with, we immediately raise their prices, including this woman I just told you about, who did 60% of her average annual revenue in 6 weeks. What are the numbers? Run the numbers. What is the likelihood of you not only making back your investment, but also making back 2 or 3 times that investment? Last but not least, I just want to brag on some more of my mastermind women because I want you to be able to hear the possibilities. Now, I know that their goals are different than your goals, but I want you to see yourself in this. One of the women in the mastermind booked her first TED Talk. We're currently strategizing how that TED Talk is going to shape her business, her public speaking career, her partnerships, and developing out new revenue streams for herself. Another client was able to secure her largest order to date in her product-based business. Another client got a partnership that if I told you who she'd partnered with, you would know. Depending on what city you live in, you have between 1 and 10 of these in your city right now. It was her biggest partnership to date, and it's helping her to start booking out her services months and months and months in advance. She's going to be able to have secured revenue 3 to 6 months in advance for the projects that she's booking. Whereas before, it's always been, I don't know when my next client is coming. I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from. So she's built in this foundation that's giving her a lot more stability and security in her business. Another client made back half of her investment for her enrollment in a single month. Another client is getting ready to launch her own group program, and she will make back her investment in this program with 1 single sale when she launches that program. Another client has shifted her client avatar and is looking at 10xing her average sale per order moving forward into the rest of the year. And another client just signed a lease on a space that is 3 times bigger than she's currently in, that's going to allow her to serve way more people and truly bring bring meaning and purpose to her community. If you are at a point where you have a goal that you simply feel like you cannot reach on your own, or maybe you've been trying to reach this goal and nothing you're doing has gotten you there yet, maybe it's time to consider joining a mastermind. Now, I highly encourage you to check out the Foundry so that we can take what you've built, melt it down a little bit, and reconfigure it into a brand new, beautiful sculpture. You can learn more by visiting breesealy.com/mastermind. Now, I will tell you, unfortunately, I don't have space for everyone. So it's going to ask that you submit an application. And from that application, you and I are going to get on a phone call. I'm going to learn all about the goals you have. I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to ask me some questions. And we're just going to see if this is the best fit for you. As I mentioned before, I love running these masterminds. I love this group of women that I'm working with, and I'm so excited for this next group of 10 women as well. It is an intimate experience that gives you the mindset shifts, the strategy shifts, the community, the container that you need to get you to that next level in your business. So again, visit breesealy.com/mastermind. I am super excited to learn all about your business, where it is, where it has been, and also the goals and visions that you have for your future. Your ambitious, audacious goals are absolutely possible, and I am so excited to help you achieve the unachievable in your business. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you again next week with a fantastic interview.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I hope you gained valuable wisdom from this episode and have at least one thing you can act on today. As I always say, listening to this episode will not change your life. What you do afterwards will. Please be sure to leave a rating and a review of the show, and don't forget to share this episode with a friend or colleague who could use it. Last but not least, please have the audacity to believe in the inevitability of your success today. You deserve it.